So, if you're a senior citizen and you wish to reinvent your life, this is one podcast you must watch.
If you really love old people, we have to find a way to motivate them to reinvent themselves so that they have something to look forward to get up every morning.
True. Hi, my name is Rohini and I'm the founder of Sevarat Healthcare and Nursing Private Limited. We are Goa's only dedicated senior care service. We provide home care and home nursing for senior citizens. In our podcast today, we shall be speaking with Mr. Matthew Kurian, who is the founder of El Shaddai Charitable Trust. And in this conversation, we will be really looking at various facets of how the elderly cope with their lives and how they can really reinvent their lives, what should their priorities be, and how they can cope up with aging, losing their spouse, overcoming grief, and really having a fun time. Let's dive into the conversation right away. This has been a great start. Good to have you here, Matthew Kurian.
Yeah.
So Matthew Kurian is the founder of El Shaddai Foundation, and he's also a pastor, and he's an amazing person, I heard. So we'll figure that out now. We'll talk to him, and this is going to be a very informal conversation. I really want to know what are your thoughts about so many things that are dear to us, which we deal with every day, and I look forward to the perspective that you will bring to this entire conversation as a social worker, as somebody who's passionate about the cause of elderly care, and you have been contributing in the areas of children, orphans, of elderly, all social causes, and more so as a pastor because you would have a certain spiritual angle to it. So I'm really excited to have this conversation with you, and thank you for coming over to our office today.
Welcome.
So tell us, how did your journey start and what inspires you today?
Okay. So basically, I always wanted to love people.
Okay.
And right from my childhood, when I was 5 or 6 years old, I used to wear my elder brother's shirt, act like a priest,
Wow.
and go and blessing everybody. And somehow this loving people always been in my DNA all the time.
Wow.
And I also love children, which I didn't thought it as a charity or business or anything. Just naturally comes out. Whenever there is a child, I always go to the child, play with, talk. And children also get attracted to me. So I was a very devout Catholic.
Okay.
I used to go for mass every day.
Altar boy?
Altar boy.
I thought
altar
so.
boy, yeah. Sunday, almost whole day I'm in the church,
Okay.
serving all the mass, reading
Okay.
the epistles.
Okay.
Altar boy read the epistle, priests read the gospels.
Yes.
But I never understood anything. I just did it as a ritual, probably fun's sake.
Okay.
And I thought I'll become a priest.
Okay.
I went to become, and somehow it did not happen. I was very disappointed. And I lost my faith in God.
Mm-hmm.
So as a young boy, I wanted to test God. So I robbed all the communion wafer and ate,
Okay.
thinking that what God will do. Nothing happened.
Okay.
I drank the communion, robbed the communion wine, because as an altar boy for 9
Wow.
years, you have access to the complete
Yes.
altar and the back of the
Yes.
altar. So one Monday, Thursday, church get packed. Wednesday, I finish off all the wafers and communion wine.
Oh, you had an appetite.
So night, the main sacristan came to church and he found out there is no wafer, there is no
Wow.
communion.
That is one mischievous boy.
So,
Did they figure out you were the one?
yeah, of course, I
Oh.
was sacked. I was suspended from the
Okay.
altar boy business that day. And they called me to be a big shame. My family came, no, I got beating from my parents. And this poor sacristan, he was distantly related to us. So he had to work whole night to make the wafer.
Oh.
Those days you couldn't buy,
Yes,
people,
yes.
sacristan make. And I don't know where he got the wine, and he got it for the Monday, Thursday. And I got very suspicious about the existence of God.
Mm-hmm.
So then I used to hang out in the cemetery with my friends. We
Okay.
used to have drinks, and we robbed the big banana, the whole branch, and bury it in the cemetery. And next Sunday, come and open it and eat.
Wow.
And it's well ripe. So a lot of stupid things like that. And finally, I've been completely kicked out of the church because I
Okay.
was a
Ousted.
total nuisance.
Wow.
So now I don't know what to do because I wanted to be a priest and it just all went and I completely lost faith in God. And so I really didn't know what to do. So that's the time a friend of mine introduced me to grass, ganja. So I
Wow.
started smoking and problems everywhere. And I also don't know what to do. So finally, I got fed up with my parents and I left the house.
Okay.
So I ended up in Kochi and lived all kinds of life. I again don't know what to do. So I tried to kill myself 3 times. All
Okay.
3 times successfully failed. Once I drank the poison, tried to put the head on the rail, tried to hang myself.
Wow.
All 3 failed. Then I was thinking of someone said if you cut the vein, you will drain the blood and you can die without pain.
Okay.
Cut the vein and put it under running water.
Yeah.
So I was preparing to do that. You need a lot of mental capacity to do all these things. So when I was thinking about that, I went for a charismatic retreat.
Okay.
I didn't go for charismatic retreat as such. I went for fun's sake because there were 2,000 young people and all fun, all girls. And so the third day in the retreat place, God touched my heart.
Okay.
There was a priest from Goa, Gino Rodriguez, Father
Okay.
Gino Rodriguez. He was based in
Okay.
Singapore. He was talking about Christ and how Christ changed people's lives. So first I thought this is all brainwashing, all nuts, all religious freaks, and there is no God, there is no sin. It's all made up story of the church to control people under fear.
Okay.
So one thought came to my mind: what if it's true?
Mm-hmm.
All these 2,000 young people, they all claiming their lives are changed and all kind of stuff. And here my life, I really need a change. So I just made one small statement: Jesus, we are true, come. So, and that day God touched my heart.
Wow.
My life experienced a supernatural transformation
Wow.
from a hopelessness to hope and from a meaningless to something new I found. So I came out of that hall, I bought a Bible and started reading. And then I came, started going to church, going for Mass and novenas and all this kind of things. And but then I thought there's much more to life than just working and making money. And I always had this idea of changing the world and changing lives. So I got very involved in the charismatic, and then I finally decided to go to theological degree, and I went for a theological degree. When I was studying, I was thinking what to do and what should be my future. I was a hotel manager that time.
Okay.
I was managing a hotel called Yuvaraj in Kochi.
Okay.
Then I also was giving consultancy to 2 restaurants, YMC and Ramavarma Club.
Okay.
So very successful, very outside everything going well. So I resigned my job, went to a seminary, done my theological degree.
Okay.
So as I was doing theological degree, I heard about Goa as a place of drugs, and you know how the world looks at Goa.
Yes.
So I thought, why don't I go there?
Okay.
It seems to be interesting because when on my drug days, I always wanted to come here, but somehow I never came.
And then when you gave up, you decided to come to Goa. It's like, you love partying. And then when you give up partying, you come to Goa.
My life is a party every day.
Now it is. Now it is. I can imagine.
So I came here in 93, not
Oh.
knowing what to do, what is the future. But I wanted to help people. So I reached out to all the alcoholics and drug addicts. So don't use drug addict, drug abusers.
Abusers.
Yeah. So I used to go to Tito's, Brito's, Prabhat, St. Anthony's, all the places where they, Guru Bar, all these places where those days junkies used to hang around, talking to them and trying to help people to go through withdrawal. Many, many people came and stayed in my house. Those days I was staying in the backyard of Ryan's house.
Wow.
His kitchen water comes straight into my face.
Oh. Wow.
No, they were kind. His grandmother was very loving and she really
He
cared
keeps
for
telling me that.
Unfortunately, a few
Just
days back,
passed a
she
few
died.
weeks back,
Yeah.
yeah.
She was a great person.
That's what he tells
Very,
me.
very. And she loved me like her own son. And she would wait till I come back every day.
How sweet.
She wouldn't go to sleep without me coming home. So very loving. She always used to offer food, but I 99% I said no. Because if you eat,
What
then
were you living on?
I had nothing. Basically, I was living there outhouse. No bed. Yes. Yes.
Oh, you
Absolutely.
lived like a
That's
monk.
your grandmother gave me broken one, torn one. She
You
stitched
lived like a
pieces of
monk.
clothes. She
Oh,
stitched piece of clothes on a broken bed sheet. So I
okay.
called world map, you know.
Wow. Those quilts, yeah, they used to make those.
So she was kind enough and I had nothing. So she gave me one rickety table. You know, you have to be careful, otherwise the whole thing comes down. And I went to Mapsa market and bought a stove,
Okay.
kerosene stove, some 100 rupees something. And that's it. I buy some rice and cook and buy some egg or tomato, some chili and cook again and put it everything mix and eat, finish.
Wow.
So it's a very, very basic life. And somebody was helping with the 1200 rupees a month. Actually, I came without any money, but then someone heard and they decided to support. Young boy taking such a big step and
Yes.
going all the way, you know. So 600 was a rent, and I had 600 rupees. I had somebody gave me a bike,
Wow.
so I had to put petrol another 300. So 300 rupees, 10 rupees a day.
Wow.
But I live like a king.
Wow.
But only don't come to my room.
That I can imagine.
So that's where I started. I never said no to anything that I felt there as a need.
Okay.
So when first I thought I must reach out to the people of alcohol and drug problem, because that was a problem I come from. And then I started a prayer meeting. First prayer meeting, he was there as a 4-year-old boy and his brother Joel. You're the only two people. And his parents and his grandparents. So I prayed with them.
So that was the
Starting
cradle
point.
which started
Yeah.
it all, huh?
His house, his grandparents' house.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's such a nice thing.
So start praying, and then next week I don't know who to pray with. But things just happened. That's what I said. I never said no to any intuition I got. I always follow the intuition I get. And whether it's happen, not happen, who cares?
Yeah.
Even now I come from old Goa, seeing a building, thinking of the possibility of setting up a nursery and a community center there.
Wow.
It's not that I have a lot of money, I'm sitting over it. There is no board meeting happen that will open a center there, nothing. But I felt in my spirit, okay, why don't I go and check it out? Because
Which
a
is
lot
you
of
just
migrants
follow your calling.
follow your intuition, your calling. We in
Wow.
Christianity, we call your vision.
Wow.
And so that's where I started. Then I started prayer meeting, it started growing, a lot of people started coming. And then one Lemani came once. And I never seen Lemanis in my life because I'm from a middle class Catholic family from central Kerala. There is no slums and there is no migrants, and most of the people are pretty okay, affluent. So when I saw them, I got very fancy because there were a lot of coins and glass
on the
pieces
outfit,
and metal and beads.
True.
So, and then I was very fascinated. I spoke to them and I found they're very innocent people, have no clue about life.
Yes.
So none of them go to school.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Tell
because
me
they don't
whenever
have.
I
They
say
are.
so.
They generally they're like gypsies. They move from one
They
place
are
to the other.
gypsies.
They are
They are
gypsies.
gypsies.
They keep moving. Nomads.
Basically, there's one family, 7 that they claim, 7 children, all 7 men in 7 ways.
Oh,
They claim Marwadis, Gujaratis are their cousins.
okay.
Then the Bhojpuris, the north, and the gypsies, Roma gypsies in Europe,
Okay.
and Lemanis, Haki Paki. And there's one more, I don't remember the name. So there are 7, they say this one family split into 7. Some went to cities that become successful businessmen. Some went to the jungles and they become like tribals and gypsies. So that's what they say. So I got very fascinated, talked to them, and I found none of them go to school. They don't go to hospitals. When they get sick, they go to this jadoo, gadi kind of fellows, and very helpless. I felt it's not right. They are also my fellow Indian citizens. They have the right for free health, free education, because we are paying the tax and they are Indians. So those days, none of them had, again, no birth certificate, no documents. So I
Yes.
helped them to create documents,
Wow.
trained them how to go to hospital. When the hospital, illegally, we have health centers everywhere.
Correct.
The health centers are health workers. Their job is to go to low income group people and treat them where they are.
Yes.
But they were not doing it. So I went to the medical superintendent, questioned him, argued with him, and spoke to him and all. They said we can't go because these people are very aggressive and violent. I said I'll set up.
Okay.
I will take this security, and so I forced them to come into the slums.
Okay.
Done the family planning, health and hygiene, dental care, pro postnatal care, before and after a pregnancy, how to raise up children, what has to be done, how important it is for children to go to school.
Schooling, yes.
So I set up a slum school in Karaswado, in
Okay.
a slum. Again, I had no money. So I told them, come on guys, we need to build a school. So they all give me 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 2 rupees. We bought some bamboos and we bought some coconut leaves and we made the school.
Wow.
And they were all excited. In those days, if a Lamani goes out, he will make a school uniform for a child because this is something that they dream of.
Oh.
Any of their function you go, you see children coming in school uniforms.
School uniforms. I see.
They
Oh, so that
see
was
other
the
children.
aspiration that they had.
Aspiration. But they don't know
Wow.
how to access.
Wow.
School uniform is like a special costume which our children refuse to
Refuse to wear. Yes, actually.
So then I went to their villages. They don't live in the normal village. They have a village out of the villages called Tandas.
Okay.
And very, very poor, very basic. And I went to many Tandas. I slept on the open place because they have one small room, one corner toilet, one corner kitchen. The rest is the where to sleep. And it's all full of smoke and smoke smell.
Yeah.
So I went many, many times, taught them, explained to them life. Today, all the Lemani children go to school.
Yes.
None of the Lemanis are not going to school.
Yes.
And through El Shaddai, some of them done a graduation, even post-graduation,
Wow.
and got fantastic jobs. Not El Shaddai alone. I think that's the time many people start working similar kind. Today, all the Lemanis are going to school.
Yes.
So that's where I started. So when I started my first children's home in Vagatur, I called it Victory House because I want to be a place of victory for people who are defeated in life.
Wow.
So I used to go by my bike. I stay in Para. I used to go to Vagatur to talk to the staff, children and all. So every day I pass a house on the side, Anjuna, an old lady sitting alone on the veranda.
Okay.
And she captured my imagination. I started thinking, what will be her life? Because almost every day when I go that side, when you come back, you see her
Sitting there.
I tried to talk to her. She refused to talk to me, probably because I don't know Konkani. Or maybe she's depressed. I'm not that clever like now, those days. Even now I'm stupid. So she didn't talk. But she made me to think about the situation of old people. Those days I never traveled to Europe. I didn't know there was aged care and old age and nothing.
Correct.
I'm just a wild boy, came here, just happened to be doing some stuff. So I thought I must set up a place for people like this because there may be hundreds of women.
Just
like
sitting
this.
idle.
Sitting. I mean, they don't know what to do.
What to do? They have no
You
one to
think
talk.
about a man as a parent in the house. So you are living in a 2-bedroom apartment. How much space that old man will get or old lady will get. And your son may, the man or the house, but he has a choice between his mother and the wife.
Yeah.
Of course, he has to give high focus on wife. Otherwise, she will not give peace of mind. Plus, that's correct ingredient. You leave your parents and you join.
Genuine.
Number one. Number two, he has children. So should I spend my money on children or should I spend my money on
The
an old
parent.
man? So typical thinking, anyway, they're going to die.
Yes.
But these ones, no, they are my life. They are going to look after me.
Yes.
So old people are deprived all over the country. All over the country. Even some of them work so hard all their life, made all the money. But they are so dependent on the children. Children come and made them to sign. and sell the property and put them in dump in an old age home. I know many parents who are living in deep sorrow or depression, and because they don't know how to what to do.
What
There was an old lady I know very well. I told her many times, don't sell your house. She has two sons. They want to sell the house. I said, don't sell the house. But children, she didn't listen to me. She listened to them. They sold the house. Both of the sons don't want to take care. They share the money in three ways. Two sons. Her share, they put in a joint account. Now she has no place to stay. They give some peanuts for her. And her life is in such a difficult condition because there is nobody to advise or take care of them. So old people are all over in our country. I think they are more deprived than children.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because they're young and they got soft skin and smiling. And
everybody wants to be charitable towards them. Nobody cares about
But
the
when you look at these
people.
old men with his all wrinkled
Yes.
skin and not looking nice, drooping sometime or maybe
And I think
talk
people
rubbish.
also perceive that the children are the future. So they try to invest into them, whether it is their own children or even orphan children or anybody who needs help on the street. But they don't have the same sentiment towards the elderly because you think they have done their bit. It's time to bid them bye. Or it's just the last few years of their life, just get them assigned to some care facility at best. I don't think in our, I don't know if it's all over the country or what it is. I haven't evaluated, but I get a sense that maybe it is the same all over the place, that we haven't been looking at all the needs of the elderly. Like we want children to have their sports time, their extracurricular activities. We want them to have something which is going to groom them as a person. We want them to get the regular school or college education. We're looking at all their needs. Similarly, we don't look at elderly people. We just want to give them food and shelter
Dump them in a
and
corner.
just be done with them.
But when you say children are the future, no, that future is built by these people who are old.
Yes, absolutely.
We all are
We have
enjoying
inherited
their
everything
hard work.
from
So
them.
they need better care and they deserve better treatment.
Yes, they deserve it actually. They've earned it.
Yeah, I mean they've
Earned it. Yeah, they've worked for it. They've earned it. I think the world that we live in, we owe it to them. We're not doing any charity by taking care of the elderly.
It's our
We are just
responsibility.
returning what they have given us. We should be giving it with interest. We just give them a little trivial part of what we are getting really. So I think it's very important for all of us to work for the betterment of the elderly. In fact, the more we working with the elderly, I see how much more there is for us to do when it comes to senior care or just the well-being of the elderly person. Even those people who are well off, actually I think there's a whole vacuum in the space of elderly care or people who are retired, who are living there. So we've noticed that the elderly people have a lot of emotional needs which go uncared for. And I really want to get your perspective of how do you think, what is the solution for elderly people who are facing loneliness, especially after the death of their spouse. They end up becoming completely they're just left on their own, and there's nobody to care for them, and there's no answer to their emotional needs. So what do you recommend?
So I've been thinking about it quite long and I've been trying to do things. I feel one of the best way to help them is set up senior citizen clubs area wise. Get all these old people together, give a motivational talk or maybe play some game, have a dinner. Now, from 2000, I'm traveling all over the world. All the countries, developed countries, they have senior citizen club, dinners together, and their old age homes, not like one dump yard like we have here. Our old age home is a pathetic place for an old person to go.
Correct.
You have some nano priest or Hindu Bhaji or somebody, and given them a Rudraksha rosary and say, pray so that you may have a better death, nice death.
Yes.
So they're all praying to die,
Yes.
for a proper death rather than living. But they have a life. We have a tendency to look at the old people, say, oh, you're old, you're going to die. Who told you that? You may die before they die.
Absolutely.
Everybody die. And there are a lot of old people outlive their children and their grandchildren.
Yes.
Sevarat, his mother, his mother-in-law, I know, sorry, his grandmother, she died at the age of 91.
Yes.
So she get to see a lot of world, but she had a good life because his Ryan's father really took care of her, always been considerate, and his grandfather also was good. So when you look into it, they need to be cared in terms of setting up senior citizen clubs and giving opportunity for them to ventilate their feeling. And we should get them out. We ourselves should change this mindset. Old people, they're going to die. Old people
Exactly.
are not there to die. They are there to live.
They're here to live. And
So
for
they,
whatever duration they are here,
yeah.
let's keep them happy.
So
I
they
think that's
have
what
to be
it is.
motivated on a daily basis to be geriatric, to think more deep, think like we think, going out doing things. See, the word retirement is not there in Christian and in the Jewish culture. So the most of the people when they retire, they think they're going to die.
Yes.
I know many Goans who worked in the Gulf countries, made big house, got a lot of money, then they retired, come back, say, I'm going to leave now. Within 1 year, heart attack or died.
Yes.
I was listening to Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett was talking about one lady. He employed her when she was 65 somewhere. She had a company of so many million dollars. And she worked with him till the age of 102.
Whoa.
And 102, she retired. And 103, she died.
Wow.
So he was saying that I
Had
wish
she not
should
retired, she
would
wouldn't have
lived.
died.
So we
get
need to
that.
create avenues for old people to express themselves and to get a new dimension of life.
Yeah.
See, when you cross certain age, like say when you're young, you want to impress everybody. Then you come to married and you impress one girl and got her inside. Married, then you get into the stress or responsibility of buying a car, buying a house, raising up children, then handling all the emotional difference between husband and wife. It's like a war time till the age of 40, 45, till the age children come to the age of 23, 24. You are like on a war footing day in, day out. Then you come to a stage, the children left.
Yes.
That's the time a lot of divorce take place. You know why? Because they are not focused on each other, they are focused on children. Their common goal is gone and they have nothing to talk. There's nothing in common. You know that age comes, a lot of women lose interest in sex. Some men also lose interest in sex. It's become like having baji pav. It's like a regular one, and once in a while it takes place. It's not something that you excite. When you're young, it's always an excitement point. So people, when they come to that age, they go through a crisis. And that crisis get deepened when they come to 60s. So if you really love old people, we have to find a way to motivate them to reinvent themselves. Yes. So that they have something to look forward to get up every morning.
True.
The hope is something that keeps you driving. When you lose your hope, it's not about faith, it's not about any religion. It's about having a hope in life. When you have hope in life, you tell your nerves, give a command to wake up. We have work to do.
Yes.
But when you have no hope, you don't see a reason to get up. You're telling all your veins, there is nothing much to do. So veins say nothing much to do. You get sick, you get tired, you become old and you develop all sickness and you die faster.
Yes. I think there's something that we need to keep on creating for every person to look forward to the following day, to wake up with a purpose.
Yeah.
I think giving them a purpose to live should be our primary goal as children and as society. Yeah. But what are those goals that we can set or they can set for themselves?
In Hinduism, there is a culture, there are the old original Hinduism. Like, then Shaishava, Balya, Yuvata, Grahatva, then Vanvas. Jack Ma said that recently in one of his talk before he even disappeared. He said up to the age of 20 to 30 you must work for somebody, 30 to 50 you must work for yourself, and once you cross 50 you must learn to work for others.
Yes.
If you don't learn that, then you are not living a full life, which I agree, which same thing our Hinduism says. Vanvas means not just going to jungle. It's like you abstain from the worldly passion for money and wealth and
Self-interest, I think.
possession,
It's more about working for
and
others.
giving to others. You get up in the morning. How can I make a change in the world?
Absolutely.
See, if you're a clever man or clever woman, by 50, you are stable. You got some money somewhere and you got a house to live. And if you don't have this, you're stupid. You better wake up now and start working more. But generally, that age you should be stable.
Yes.
So then you should not think of making more money, more position. What are you going to do with it all? So probably you need to get more community-based giving out. See, I travel Europe and all. People reduce the number of hours when they cross 50. A lot of them take early retirement or maybe working 2 days or 3 days. Then they follow their passion. They pursue something that they really wanted to do. And people travel, they sell their company and take the money and they go around traveling, doing all crazy things which we human imagine. So we have to encourage our old people to think differently. Now they're stubborn mules. They are not going to get it right all the time on the spot because you said 3 or 4 times, because they look at you and me and say, what are you talking? We already made the life. We know all this. Yes. We've been all this. But the trouble is they must have been, but they don't know what we are telling them.
Yes.
So it's a challenge to motivate them because they have so much experience in life. And some of them are unteachable.
Yes.
There are a lot of people you come across. They act like they're listening, but in reality, they're not listening.
Yes. Yes.
So there are a lot of people who become old without having a habit of listening. And they pull out from the little they know and they make their world so small and make their life miserable. And because they are so small in their thinking, others either don't understand them or just ignore them.
Yes. Because beyond a point, you cannot coax a person to get out. Like if you want them to go out and get some fresh air, you want them to go out and watch a movie or join a dance class or join yoga.
Correct.
Or just go out and meet other people, even meet relatives. Some of them are very reluctant. It could also be because they're lacking self-confidence at that age because they are difficult. They are wobbly on their feet. Some of them are stammering. Some of them have slow thinking, so they can't drive a conversation. And some people who just are disinterested. At one point in time, I think they just become disinterested. I think what is a way that we as children and as the society ourselves, apart from creating these clubs that you mentioned, which is a very very powerful initiative that we should take, and God willing we'll see more of those happening around Goa as well. But what is it that we can do as maybe small societies where people live together, maybe a residential colony, maybe a parish, maybe a church, maybe a temple community? What is it that you think we can do to lift up the level of participation of the elderly?
See, if we are honest with what we are saying, what we are talking, we got to start by ourselves and get like-minded people. Like you said, in the housing society, there are many housing societies which has more than 60 to 200 or maybe 300 apartments.
Apartments, yes.
So I'm sure easily you find 100 old men and women there.
Yes.
See, within the complex itself, organize.
It's a safe place, and generally we have the infrastructure. Most big societies now have clubhouses, and it's safe, it's enclosed, and they're just under your watch. So I think all in all, it's a nice place for them to start.
Yeah. So in that senior citizen get together, they play cards. Somebody give them motivational talk like yoga or what are the disease that how to prevent, how to take care, how to think positive, and giving them ideas and thoughts about hope and dreams. I am planning to set up 2 centers. One is a palliative care, the 40 unit in Mapsa city itself. Other one is a 75 unit senior citizen care. So when I start, what I want to do is that every week they have activities. One day I'll bring them to Panjim and dump them in front of Dalgo. Tell them to trot around all around the city, have lunch and come 2 or 3 o'clock. I'll take them back. Another day I'll take them to beach. So salt water is very good for their joints.
Yes.
They spend it. Another Friday I'll bring them to Mapsa market.
Yes.
Walk around, see things, buy something, eat some stuff. No, not just old age home, like it shut them to die.
Yes.
It's like, rejuvenate their life by giving them hopes and dreams. And I also will encourage them to volunteer with a school or church or temple or any kind of activity, because some of these men and women are very clever. They're
Yes.
done high position. They have
Yes.
good information, but
Yes.
nobody won't. But we
Correct.
have to channelize all their knowledge and their ability into care for society. I want to challenge every senior citizen to learn to serve the community for nothing.
Yes.
Stop. Don't be like a Marwadi. Sit till you die on the chair and collect the money and die over the money. And the repeated. And then God only knows where the money goes.
Yes.
So making money is not life.
True.
Making life is life.
Wow.
If I come here and I motivated you to take a next step, then my visit to you is worth.
Worth it. Absolutely.
But if I come to say that, oh, money, and I came with the greed for money, and I made you all the more greedy for money, and you're going to butcher everybody else around to get more money, and then what are you going to do with it? You can have only one breakfast, one lunch, or one dinner. In our age, we can't eat all three, only one or two we can
Yes.
max. You can only sleep on one bed.
Absolutely.
Huh? Even if you have 10 bedroom.
And we don't have that quilt also, which his grandmother gave you. That's so much love.
But there was so much fun.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
I have no regrets the
Yes.
way I lived. I can look back and I can say, wow, those were the great days.
Yes.
Many a time I say to myself, recently I was talking to someone also, said that I'm ready to give away everything and
Wow.
restart all over again.
Yes.
It's so much fun,
It's
so
so
much
much fun.
adventure. See, when you start doing things without no money, there's
Yes.
so much fun.
Yes. I think it just makes you a better person.
100%.
It just makes you a better person. When you start with nothing at all. I was, in fact, sharing with Ryan my experience of actually coming down to zero and starting afresh.
Yeah.
Starting afresh is the best thing. Yes, yes. It's a complete restart.
Yeah.
And I think apart from resources, having or not having resources, I think at the age 60 or the time when you retire, instead of just getting withdrawn into yourself and actually, which might lead you to get into this, whole depression and
Negative.
self-pity more, I think it's very important to have a plan thereafter where you just start saying like, okay, now what can I bring to the table? Or either you enhance your own enjoyment of life, like you go out there and do all the crazy things that you wanted to do, have merry, make fun, just have a good time. That's one of the options, and the other option is to just go out there and contribute to other people.
There are so
I
many
think that's
temples,
one
so
of the
many
things that
churches,
Ryan and I were speaking
so
about,
many places.
that we have so much of knowledge and information with the elderly. It would be great if you can just get them all out there to share it with the younger ones. Of course, the younger ones generally in the normal course of events don't want to listen.
Yeah.
But, it could just be chronicled and kept for the future. We never know when we might want to go back and tap into those resources.
That brings you another point, is that, once you cross the age of 60, don't try to compete with the people who are 20s and 30s. You can never win. You may think you know everything, but actually you don't know. Every decade, earlier we say every decade, now every year,
Yes.
the culture and the technology, everything is changing
Changing.
so rapidly. So some old people get themselves in a big trouble by trying to compete, trying to control the children, try to control their society. Like you go into a temple or church, get involved, then it's all about trying to control everybody. No, it's not about controlling, it's about encouraging them.
Yes.
Because they have better brains and better energy than you have. Say I'm 58, in 2 years I'm 60. I want to admire people like Ryan and Abhishek or younger people. I want to make room for them.
Yes.
Rather than I'm telling them, hold on, listen guys, I know better than you.
Yes.
I don't.
I think
I
that takes
don't.
a lot of humility.
Yeah, and my absorbing capacity of the new technology or the new culture is very weak. Because I'm set in my thinking of my 20s.
Yes.
Because that's where I had the prime and max in 20, 30, 40s. So, but that's gone.
But have you noticed that the elderly people, I mean, I'm saying this, that they also look down on the younger generation because they feel they got it all easy,
Yeah,
so
but
they just got it all
so
easy.
you
So there's a
you
little
look at your
disdain about.
parents. You look at your parents. They think the same thing about us. See, if you had to go back few years back,
Yes.
when I came to Goa 29 years back, you go to a house, I seen people wearing only langoti in the house and walking around. Only underwear.
Kashti, yeah.
Kashti. They were not wearing any clothes. And the people are pig toilet.
Yes.
We didn't have toilet inside 30 years back.
Yes.
I seen donkeys in Mapsa market carrying luggage. Having a Maruti van is a posh thing.
Yes.
So they can look at us and say, look, you all having an easy life. Look at toilet inside, hot water inside. They didn't have anything. So what I'm trying to say, as decade change, things become change. And so we as old people, or becoming old, I don't want to be old, and we have to acknowledge and say,
I feel a little upset every time he says we as old people.
no, you're very young. You're super pretty. Don't worry. I'll give you a full
I
rating
just get
for
a
you.
little anxious that he's considering me old, but it's. I think I hope.
What do you think I didn't color my hair?
I think I love to age grace. I was
Hello?
just coming to that. I was just trying to age gracefully
See.
because I just want to be on par with the people I work around with.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much to compete actually. I'm trying to compete with the elderly people I work
Elderly,
with.
not with these
not
guys. We'll
these
never
are-
win.
they
So
are
don't
kids.
ever.
They are kids. They're not in my league. I can't be competing with them. They're way
No
too
chance.
smart.
Yeah,
They're way too
100%.
smart.
They
And
may
they're
give us
teaching
a
me so
smile like
much.
when he gives. Look
Abhishek,
at that
yes.
smile. Like Abhishek gives. Behind there is so much.
Yes.
But we see only a small smile.
He's deep. He's smart.
Yeah.
I think that's how this entire thing is coming around now.
Yeah.
Every
I think
generation-
the other thing you want to cover about the grieving time, isn't it?
Yeah, not quite.
When you
I'm
lose a
trying to-
partner, what
Yes,
happens?
I'm just trying to see that generally what I have noticed in a lot of people whom we are caring for, mostly with the females, the wives are obsessed with looking after the husband, and the minute there is a death, the husband passes away, the wife is left completely empty. She doesn't know what she's supposed to do because she's got no other business left. Her whole obsession was looking after the husband. Now I don't know whether how they can cope with that grief. So that's my question one. And the question two, which has been there in my mind, is that is there any hope for the elderly people at whatever age group they may be, having lost their spouse or when they are living alone, is there any chance of them finding companionship in the opposite gender, or is it still being looked down upon, is what I want to really discover.
Two things, correct? So the number one you said about when
Grieving.
you lose a partner, what do you give? This is same thing I was telling about, when the husband and wife so focus on the children, when children go, there's an emptiness. A lot of women get frigidity or lose interest in sex because they gone everything, and man is there and create a lot of problems. The same way, when a woman or man is too obsessed with his partner, when the partner die, it become a vacuum, like an emptiness. That is because they are not living their life of their own.
Yes.
See, we are not supposed to live for others. We are supposed to live for ourselves.
That's a big one. I think whatever age we are at, particularly when we are elderly, we need to start looking at living for ourselves.
Our own, yeah. So I am not living for my wife. I'm living for my own primarily. Then I care for you. In order for me to care for, I have to live.
Yes. Love yourself.
Correct.
Before you love another.
Yeah. It's very, very important.
Very important,
If you don't love yourself, you don't love others also.
Yes.
So each person need to be empowered thinking that way. But in an Indian culture, women are looked down and women are like a commodity in the house, or this silly thing, the woman has to be submissive and man is ahead. It's all bullcrap. Man and woman are both the same in God's eyes and creation. There are a lot of women who are much better than man. So it's man's ego. Somehow we become a very male-dominant society, and lot to do with the religion.
Yes.
Every religion try to suppress women. I believe that's the biggest mistake. We should not suppress the women. We should allow them to be themselves. And so if you really care for what you're saying, then you have to focus on empowering women as early as possible. Teach them your job is not to cook and feed and wash clothes and then give pleasure for them sleeping with them without even thinking about your satisfaction. Because a lot of marriages in India, women are getting raped every day, not by their own husband
Yes.
without recognizing a feeling. But then she has no expectation because she thinks that's the way my life is. You see a young girl all bright and excited. Then you see her after 28, married with 2 children. All the excitement is gone.
Indeed.
She thinks her job is to feed the children, look after the house, and sleep with his man whenever and only his satisfaction. He doesn't bother about it. And die for him, which is a wrong idea. We have to find ways to empower the women right from the young age that they are an independent individual. They have a life as much as a man has. Now, if you travel Europe, there are a lot of organizations, portals to care. There are websites, how to care for, how to grieve.
Okay.
Your partner died. See, if my partner, my wife died or my child died, there is a process of grieving and I had to go through it. If I don't go through that grieving, all the grief I have will remain in me and it mess up my personality. It all get complicated. I come out as a horrible character.
Yes.
So we have to help them to grieve through.
Yes.
Release that grief. Like you ask the husband died, wife leave for him, now he's gone, what to do? That because number one, she didn't care for herself.
Yes.
So we need to help her to find the identity of her as a woman, as a human being, number one. Number two, help her to grieve through. Yes, my partner gone. So what is my next?
Yes.
And I'm a very strong advocate of remarriage.
Okay.
If your partner died, no matter whether it's a 70 or even an 80-year-old, you still need a partner. So partnership is not about sex. It's about companionship.
Companionship.
We humans are social animals. We are meant to be in a community. We are meant to be companions. We are not animals who just have a sex and forget about it. We are much more than. In fact, say you are a married woman. Sex play a very small role. There are many other things. Talking, interacting, arguing,
Yes.
doing things together, discussing great ideas. Doesn't matter whether the ideas come to pass or not, but there's so much joy in all this.
Yes.
Thing. So unfortunately, these people miss. That's why they think like that. So we need to find a way to encourage them. Maybe you are unorganized, Sevarat. Maybe you take an initiative, set up how to help people to grieve through.
Yes. I
How
think it's a
to
very important
reinvent
thing.
yourself. Your partner died. Now, in our church in the last month, there are 4 people died.
Oh.
Okay. One was a 22-year-old boy in an accident. Parents. I was shocked because I have a son, 24-year-old, and it brought tears to my eyes many times when I think about it.
I get that.
Because for him it's a huge, hit for that he lost his son. Now in our culture, now Hindu culture, we look at our children as our future, especially sons.
Yes.
Every parent, the mother or father grow, the son will take care. Now, losing the son, it's heavy on him. So, he need to grieve through. He and his wife need to grieve through. Otherwise, they become bitter person,
Yes.
people, or they can even get complicated. Next person was a 45-year-old man died. Again, an accident. I want to tell everyone who are listening, wear helmet always. Be careful when you drive. Your life is not yours. It's very, very dangerous to take your life in your hand and take things easily. If you're driving, wear helmets. Drive. If you're riding, wear the helmets. If you're driving, wear the seat belt.
Yes.
It's very, very important. Now, this 45-year-old man died. I was thinking about his wife. Now, his wife and family is very, very close to me, known to me. I know him from the age of 20 as a young boy.
Oh.
And I was looking at his wife. Every time I see her, I get emotional. Think about now she's a very Hindu traditional background. She can't think of remarrying. And she got 4 children.
Wow.
2 boys, 2 girls, all teenage and youth teenage. None of them are married. Now, she can't even imagine of having a relation with a man. She can't. Because the whole society will finish her off.
Yes.
And probably children may turn to be bitter,
Yes.
and angry. And she also can't think because she will be so focused in getting these 2 daughters married, getting these 2 sons married. She thinks that that's all her responsibility. And it is. Then grandchildren. So she is going to have a terrible time. Now she need to grieve through.
Yes.
She need to grieve through this, and she need to address the issue, talk to the children. Yes, I love you, but I need to have a life of my own.
Yes.
But it's quite a challenging place she is. So she need, I don't know how to help. She's a woman and she's in her 40s and I'm a man. I can't just go beyond certain level to talk to her because, it's not viable. But she's just an example of thousands of people around us
Absolutely.
living in pain. So it's good if some people come up with an idea of developing a program or maybe a helpline and reach out to this kind of people. If you're a hurting person, you will hurt others.
Yes.
So now if she don't grieve through and she don't recover, eventually there is a possibility either she become a mean, miserable woman, say that the world has been unkind to me, I'm not going to take any damn care and I'm not going to be unkind to anybody. Like Amitabh Bachchan, when one of the disasters, somebody went to him and asked for fundraise, support the charity. I was quite shocked. He said, when I was in need, nobody helped me. Why should I help others? I would have told if I had a chance, you should think other way.
Yes.
When I was in need, nobody helped me. So I want to help others. So there is another two more people died. I don't want to say more. But the thing is, there is hurting people all around us. And we need to find ways to comfort or to take their hurts away.
Yes.
And otherwise, they will in turn go around hurting other people.
Very beautiful. So I think what you're actually telling us is that we need to inculcate in everybody, and therefore more so in the elderly, the need to love themselves.
Yes.
To inculcate habits, culture, to inculcate a routine in their life where they're looking at fulfilling their own needs as well as looking after other people. And in case of loss of dear ones, especially the spouse, grieve through, bring it on and endure it, go through it without having to suppress it. And whenever you are prepared, get into the next relationship. Consider
very
a
much,
remarriage and consider finding companionship in life. Is that
yes.
what it is?
And we also must teach people to celebrate individuality.
Yes. Oh, that's a very big one.
Every religion and every political party, they wanted to assassinate our individuality. They wanted to butcher our individuality.
Yes.
And they wanted to sell us to a herd mentality.
Yes.
You get a great kick out like your hero, whether it's Narendra Modi or whether it's somebody, a guru. They wear all these small pictures or putting photos. It's all kind of slavery.
Yes.
You keep your guru or PM or anywhere. I don't have anything against anybody. They must have said good things. Great. They must have been such a high position, but so what?
Yes.
You don't surrender individuality to any philosophy or a religion or a party or anything. You celebrate your individuality.
Awesome.
And go where your individuality is celebrated.
Awesome.
And never go into herd mentality. Then you suffer.
Yeah, I think that is very vital for us to find our own selves. I think the whole thing is about finding our own selves and celebrating it and living it fully, at least after we cross 60, when you don't have the burden of having to comply with certain requirements by virtue of your job or by virtue of the role that you possess. You are now free. I think it's just the time to celebrate your individuality, love yourself, and continue to live pursuing all that is dear to you. Look after yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's
When you said the burden, no? Actually, they are not burden. They are the life. All these struggles we have, they makes our life.
Yes.
You say, I give you 10 crore and the best house and you have no job to do. What will you do?
It won't be fun.
It's not fun.
Yes.
But you have no money. But I give you an idea which fired you up. You don't care about the money. You'll go out, everybody asking for money to do that. And that's life.
And we need purpose. We need purpose in our lives.
People try to avoid troubles. Actually, we should never avoid troubles.
True.
Our troubles and struggles makes us a better person. I can talk for ages. I better go.
No, I was just amazed that you can bring all these perspectives to us, and it's so wonderful to have this conversation with
Thank you.
But thank you for coming to our
Welcome.
office and sharing your thoughts so candidly.
Thank
It's so
you.
wonderful to have somebody who speaks out there from your heart, and I'm so happy to have you with
Loud
us.
and clear.
Yes, very loud and very clear, without minching words, without having to butter it around, like I would say. So thank you for coming to our office.
Welcome.
Thank you for this wonderful open conversation.
Thank you very
and thank
much.
you for this perspective on keeping individuality, loving ourselves, grieving through, finding companionship, and getting together as a community to spend old age together and not waiting just to die.
And thank you very much for helping me to bring it out of my chest.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Lovely
you.
having you.
So we'll have to work together now.
Absolutely.
Set up.
That's the deal.
Okay. All
That's
the
a deal.
best.
That's a moment you should capture it on camera.
No, that's already
Oh, cool.
Thank you. Thank you. What an enlightening conversation with Mr. Matthew Kurian. He really spoke about various facets of aging and how families can really cope up with the elderly and how the elderly can add value to society. I think he really highlighted on building individuality, loving ourselves, making sure that we find something to keep engaged with, and how the community can gather the elders together so that they can spend some fun time together. We shall be having more fun conversations with experts, so follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Thank you.